Britain once looked at a nuclear mine, looked at winter, and apparently concluded that what this situation really needed was chickens.
Not more insulation.
Not a less ridiculous weapon, chickens.
Blue Peacock was a real British Cold War project.
The idea was to place nuclear landmines in Germany so that, if Soviet forces pushed west, those devices could be detonated to wreck key ground and leave behind radioactive contamination.
Because in the 1950s, ruining Allied territory was apparently still being discussed with a straight face.
The weapon was massive, and the plan was grim.
Reports from the time described detonation options including a long wire and an 8-day timer.
In other words, this was not some cartoon concept.
It was an actual nuclear device being designed for actual deployment. Then engineers hit a problem.
A buried device in a European winter could get too cold to function properly. So among the proposed fixes was one of the most absurd ideas in Cold War history: place live chickens inside the casing with food and water, and let their body heat keep the internals warm for about a week.
Yes, this was a serious discussion. That does not mean Britain built a fully deployed chicken-heated nuclear mine and buried it in Germany. It means the proposal was real inside the planning process. Which is somehow even more Cold War. Entire bureaucracies were calmly workshopping a nuclear landmine heated by poultry. The project did not survive. Blue Peacock was cancelled in 1958, with concerns including fallout and the political reality of preparing to contaminate Allied land. Which is a polite way of saying someone eventually noticed that burying giant nuclear traps in friendly territory might be a terrible idea. And then, decades later, the files came out on April 1, 2004.
Naturally, people assumed it was an April Fool's joke.
It was not.
Which means the only thing more ridiculous than the plan itself was the fact that it was too absurd for people to believe once it was finally declassified.
Was this the most British Cold War idea ever? Subscribe for next episode.